Hello there and welcome back to my channel. I am the Rogue Witcher. If you're new here, I do videos on all things Marvel, DC, Star Wars, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, all things geekdom. Today's video is part 2 in the Marvel MCU ranking video of me ranking the movies from my least favourite to favourite. Today I'll be ranking from number 20 to number 11. Part 3 will then follow on Monday's release. Without further ado, let's get into it. In at number 20, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I give it an 7.5 out of 10. I'm sort of split. I think I'll go with 7.5. It was a good movie that I enjoyed, but not as good as I thought it first was. I remember coming out of the cinemas with my cousin thinking, wow, that was a really good Marvel movie. I really enjoyed it. And a lot of people were giving it a bit of stick, a bit of hate, and I just didn't quite understand why. It was only from re-watching or reviewing at home that some of the silliness could be seen and some of the visual effects maybe wasn't as good as I first thought. The film is centered around, obviously, Scott Lang, Ant-Man, and Hope the Wasp. Things are going well after Endgame. Their life's going pretty cushy, although Scott's daughter has followed his footsteps and get into a bit of trouble with the law. She seems desperate to get a suit of her own and become a superhero of her own. It turns out they've been doing some secret experiment work with Hank behind Scott's back, going down and talking to the quantum realm through some sort of technological device that he creates, and a signal is being beaconed. Now when Hope's mother finds out, Janet, it all goes awry. She knows the dangers that's down there and they end up getting sucked down into the quantum realm. As you know, things go mental from there as they're all split up across different parts, and we find out that it's not the landscape that, you know, she said that it was. There's life down there, a whole new universe with lots of different people, technology, which I thought was really interesting and quite cool. And, you know, it was cool to see different aspects and to see it like that. I felt it was a little silly and goofy at times, but that is Ant-Man, and there was some good humour. We got to see Kang the Conqueror, the badass villain played by Jonathan Majors, and I thought he did a real good job. I thought he was menacing, you know, I thought he looked the part, I thought he acted the part. I really enjoyed the final fight scene against Ant-Man. Ant-Man obviously not good at, you know, can't beat him toe to toe and got his ass kicked, but really put up a good fight. Obviously they managed to overdo him, you know, all together as a team, which was pretty cool. The MODOK thing was obviously a bit silly, him coming back from the original Ant-Man, playing this ridiculous character. The CGI looked god-awful when I think about it. But I really liked the actress who played Scott's daughter. I've seen her in a show called Supernatural. I thought she played the character, you know, really well, and, you know, I think would make a good addition to the Young Avengers. And so, yeah, I do think there was good parts of this film. I really liked the flashbacks with Janet and Kang, and, you know, seeing him, you know, beaten and you know, vulnerable, and her, you know, finding, you know, some sort of hope, her hope, you know, almost like her daughter, you know, thinking that she can escape, and then seeing the atrocities that he committed and who he really is. I thought it was really well done. And, you know, I thought, you know, when Scott had to do all these challenges, you know, to try and to get his daughter back and go up against Kang, I thought it was good. Yeah, I don't think it was as bad as people think, but it wasn't as good as first viewing. So yeah, that's why it's there on my list. In at number 19, Ant-Man. I give Ant-Man an 8 out of 10. Continuing talking about Ant-Man, I really liked the first Ant-Man. I didn't know too much about him, I'll be honest, from the comics. It wasn't a character I was super familiar with. And what a brilliant first film for a character. It was funny, it was quirky, it was different. You know, you had him and his former cellmate, I forget his name, I think it's Luis, and he just doesn't shut up rambling, and he's hilarious with his monologues. You had the other two, the tech guy and the bloke from the van, and yeah, his whole little motley crew was really funny, really entertaining. He gets recruited, of course, by Hope's dad, Hank Pym, and Hope to go on this secret mission, you know, to try and, you know, stop the villain. Oh, his name escapes me. It ends up becoming MODOK. He's sort of Hank's sort of, you know, apprentice, if you will. Hank trained him, you know, followed in his footsteps, and then backstabbed him in the back and overtook his company. He's desperate to go into Ant-Man tech, you know. He knows that it's too dangerous though, and he doesn't want him to do it, and he's not the right person, but he believes Scott is. And so with their help, you know, they go up against him, trying to stop him achieving this tech. But of course, he's already mastered it, and he sort of, you know, has his own sort of bee wasp-like, you know, Hornet, I believe it is, you know, costume, which was pretty cool. And they have a really cool fight scene, you know, and it's really cool, you know, with the shrinking and the trains. It's pretty hilarious. So visually, I thought it was very good. I thought it was shot very well, good acting, good casting, and an overall really good, light-hearted film. You know, it had good tones with him being, you know, struggling as a dad and trying to get everything right, but, you know, choosing, you know, what the greater good over it. I thought it was really good, a really good film. I really liked Ant-Man. And at number 18, Iron Man. I give Iron Man an 8 out of 10. Some people might be surprised as to why Iron Man is so low. There's just so many great MCU movies, and with some of the original ones being so stripped back compared to what they can do nowadays, sometimes it falls a little bit lower. If this list was purely on how a film was made, it would be up there, but it's also about my own individual enjoyment, taste, and all other things. So that's where it is. It's a classic, it's a staple. I mean, it's Iron Man.
Iron Man.
It started the whole thing, 2008, MCU, up and running. Jon Favreau and Robert Downey Jr., you know, took a big swing, and thank God they did, because it paid off in maybe one of the, if not the biggest franchise in movie history. You know, it's a brilliant film. It's an origin of Tony, you know, Jack the Lad, big guy, huge ego, womanizer, playboy, philanthropist, you know the line. Brilliant. And, you know, he gets himself into a hugely struggling situation. He's in the desert, he's captured in, you know, enemy territory, he's hurt, and with the help of this doctor guy, he has to find a way out, and his brilliance makes him the suit, you know, and from there on it's brilliant. You know, turns out, you know, his sort of almost like father-in-law, godfather type, not father-in-law, godfather type figure, you know, his dad's best friend has betrayed him and is jealous of him and tries to take his tech and tries to, you know, get rid of him out of the picture so he can take over. But of course, Tony doesn't allow it. Tony sees what his weapons were doing, tries to take action, becomes a hero, becomes the good guy. You know, his relationship with Pepper, you know, is really good to see. Their dynamic and chemistry, I think, throughout the whole films was brilliant. His acting is fantastic. Robert Downey Jr., he just epitomises Iron Man. He's fantastic.
I am Iron Man.
Fantastic. And yeah, I love the suit. I thought it looked good. No, I don't think it was CGI, you know, not a lot of it. You know, a lot of it was practical wear. So yeah, no, really good film. Really enjoyed it. The villain, Obadiah Stane, of course, it did lack a little because he's not that menacing, but the suit was cool. The fight was, you know, minimalistic compared to what they do now. But at the time, they didn't want to go too crazy, so I understand it. But yeah, no, I loved it. It was a really good film, and it's just, it's Iron Man. That's all that needs to be said.
I'm a changed man.
In at number 17, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I'm giving this a 7.5 out of 10. Now, although it's slightly lower in terms of numbers of Iron Man, I enjoyed it more because I am a huge Kung Fu Samurai geek. I'm going to Tokyo later this year. It's my sort of thing, martial arts, I love it. And this was awesome. It was a character I've not heard too much about, Sean.
It's Shang-Chi.
And he's the son of the leader of the Ten Rings, a bloke who's been around for over 1,000 years and has built up like an army and a clan, and he's just a badass and he's dominated throughout history, but he gives it up for love, which of course always ends badly. But no, Sean is
It's Shang-Chi.
the son. He doesn't want to follow in his father's footsteps, but of course gets dragged back into family drama. The fighting, the choreography, the editing, the shooting, the visual effects, everything in this film was done brilliantly. I thought it was fantastic. They go to another realm, there's dragons, it all looks stunning. Really great casting. The actress who played Katie, I don't know her, but she was hilarious, funny. It really, their banter, the back and forth between Sean and
It's Shang-Chi.
her was really enjoyable to watch. It wasn't romantic, it was a friendship bond, a little different, but one that we enjoyed all the same. I really enjoyed the villain, his dad, leader of the Ten Rings. You know, he just was stoic, you know, strong. He had a presence when he was on the screen, and he didn't have to say too much, and you felt it, and yeah, you knew he was the villain. You felt it. But ultimately, of course, you know, he's manipulated into thinking that his wife's still alive, and there's these monsters. Of course, Shang-Chi.
What's chi?
Sure, he defeats them. He becomes the new, you know, Master of the Rings. Very powerful, really good film, really enjoyed it. Good, interesting end credit scene, setting up, you know, the signal. What's that to? We fought Kang, but now obviously with what's going on with Kang and Judgment, we don't know. So yeah, we just don't know. We all want a sequel. I want a sequel. There's rumours it could include the Iron Fist. Now that would be awesome. The Iron Fist, if you're not aware, has his own, well, did have his own show over on Netflix, which is now canon. Danny Rand, I liked it. Few people thought it wasn't up to scratch. I thought it was still pretty good, and I'd love to see him interact with Shang-Chi in a sequel. So yeah, Legend of the Ten Rings, Shang-Chi, brilliant Marvel movie. In at 16, Captain America and the First Avenger. I give this an 8 out of 10. This is, I love watching this film. I never get tired of watching this film. Captain America.
Captain America.
Such a staple of Marvel, such a, a leading figure, leading man, leader of the Avengers, captain. This was brilliantly done, just off the following the success of Iron Man and Hulk and Iron Man 2, and they're building this bigger universe. They have to, of course, bring in Cap, and it's set during World War II. It's shot fantastically. It's about a small kid, from Brooklyn, New York, or Queens. I think it's Queens, actually. No, Spider-Man's Queens. He's Brooklyn, New York. And he builds himself, to being a good guy, but he's small. He always wants to do good. He wants to join the fight. He wants to help, but he can't. But he gets this opportunity with this doctor who's, left Red Skull, and he's took his research with him, and he, helps with the soldier serum, super serum, make Captain America, and it's brilliant. He then, joins in the war effort. He helps the Howling Commandos, Bucky, and they go on this adventure, beating the Germans, beating them here, beating them there, stopping the Red Skull and his quest for power and the Infinity Stones. Of course, he has his hands on the Tesseract and he's building weapons, and they're stopping his bases, really putting a thorn in his plan. And of course, it all builds up to a great finale of him versus Red Skull. I thought that was really well done. I thought the fight scenes and the choreography of this film was brilliant. The casting was exceptional. The actress that played Peggy Carter, phenomenal. The actor that played the general who was sort of in charge of Steve was brilliant. His name escapes me. But of course, Chris Evans, we know him from the Human Torch, but of course he nailed this one even more as Captain America. Sebastian Stan as Bucky, but the casting was just brilliant. I thought the costume of Captain America as well was fantastic. The visual effects for Red Skull, whether it's a mask, CGI combination, looked brilliant. And of course that emotional ending with Steve having to land the plane and miss his date with Peggy, and then waking up all those years in the future, really getting us into the modern day MCU to help set up Avengers. Now I really have a soft spot for this film. It's see, here on out, all the films are just so good. But yeah, that's where it is on my list. Let me know where it is down below for you. In at number 15, Iron Man 2. I give this an 8 out of 10. A lot of people think I'm crazy. I love Iron Man 2. I prefer it to all the other Iron Mans. I don't know why. I just really like it. I resonate with it. Tony, he's finally almost being who he feels he should be, Iron Man, and doing good things, changing the weapons of his company. Everything's on track. He's doing well, but oh no, he's dying. He's getting poisoning from the arc reactor, and he's sort of lashing up, being silly, drinking, partying, thinking, I don't take anything seriously. I'm dying. I'm just gonna have fun, whatever, and not take anything seriously when it is a very serious situation. Not a former foe of his, but a disgruntled son of someone who believes that Tony's dad screwed his dad over and plagiarized some of his work, is hell-bent on revenge, whiplash, and he comes over, seeing that Iron Man's a bit vulnerable, not in a great place, thinks this is his chance, with the help of Christian Hammer, who's just a fraud, wannabe Tony with his tech and weaponry, and he's all a facade. It's all cheap tricks and mirrors, his tech's crap. Rhodey's trying to be supportive, now played by Don Cheadle. I thought he did really well stepping into the role, big shoes to fill, and he's trying to be sensitive and help Tony, but he's not taking any of his crap. He realizes the serious of the situation, which leads them to an awesome fight when he gets in the silver suit and they go toe to toe.
Sorry, pal, but Iron Man doesn't have a sidekick.
It's brilliant. Scarlett Johansson premiered as Black Widow, her first appearance in the MCU, playing, the mild-mannered assistant when really she's the badass S.H.I.E.L.D. agent working for Nick Fury, keeping an eye on Tony. Agent Coulson, again, in it as well. No, I really, really liked this one. This was really good. Tony's humour was on point. I liked his struggle, and then he gets the video from his dad and he realises, no, there is purpose, I can do good things. Nick Fury lets him know that there is hope, he can survive. He has to just look within, and his dad helps him out with an old video, and it's really, really, really quite emotional at times. But yeah, it resonates with me. He gets it, he figures it out, and then teaming up with Rhodey helps save the Stark Expo as Whiplash has obviously made all those drones under Christian Hammer's influence to attack and destroy. He saves Pepper. Great, you know, fight scene of them destroying all the robots and then going up against him. Yeah, I really like Iron Man 2. I don't get the hate. I think it's really good, really well shot, and I really liked it. And that's where it is on my list. In at number 14, Spider-Man Far From Home. I give Spider-Man Far From Home an 8 out of 10. I really like this film. I liked the first one. I've said it. It was a coming-of-age movie, but I was a little frustrated that I wasn't getting badass Spider-Man, knowing how good he can be. But I know he's young. We have to bide our time. Wow, we get it in this one. Peter is put through the ringer. He's fought in Infinity War and Endgame. God, he's been on Titan. He's fought Thanos. He's died. He's come back. He's been through a lot. And he does just, again, want to be that friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. He just wants to be a kid. He wants to enjoy his summer. He wants to ask out the girl he likes in MJ and travel and have fun with his friend Ned. He wants all that. But of course, he has a deeper responsibility. He's Spider-Man, and he gets dragged in to the whole thing with Nick Fury, who was actually a Skrull, but yeah, neither here nor there. He thinks it's him, and Maria Hill, and has to go undercover while he's on this school vacation, helping Mysterio fight the Elementals, even though we find out it's a huge facade. I thought Jake Gyllenhaal was casted brilliant, acted brilliant, nailed this version of Mysterio.
To Mysterio! To Mysterio!
Different to what I remember in the animated series growing up as a kid, which got me in love with Spider-Man. But I thought it was brilliant. I thought Peter was fantastic. We really see him broken emotional. He's lost Tony. You know, he gives away the glasses. He feels he's you know, he's made all the wrong decisions, but then he steps up. Happy gives him, you know, some good advice, and he really just then, boom. This is when he leaves the boy behind. You know, a Game of Thrones quote, "Let the boy die and let the man be born." And he is, and he steps into Spider-Man. He's no longer Spider-Boy. And he goes up against Quentin Beck and he destroys the drones. He proves that he's a fraud. He shows the facade and he stops him. And it was really well shot with inside, you know, stopping all the drones inside the illusion. I thought the elementals looked really cool. I thought the CGI was good in this one. I love the new suit. Tom Holland's fantastic. He just nails the role of Peter Parker down and Spider-Man brilliantly. I thought the fight scenes were choreographed really well. I really dig this film. I love the ensemble cast. The kids are funny. Jon Favreau is Happy. Is hilarious. His aunt's brilliant. You know, she's really a really good emotional backboard for Peter. I really like her. Yeah, and of course the end credit scene was amazing, setting up the next one. But yeah, no, really like this film. Really, really good. In at number 13, Deadpool and Wolverine. I give Deadpool and Wolverine an 8.5 out of 10. This couldn't fail in my opinion. My favourite superhero is Wolverine. It is Logan.
You must be Wolverine.
We've waited for it a long time. We got the Wolverine Origins thing. Let's forget about that. And this was a free hit for Marvel. Put these two together and I don't see how it can be bad. And it wasn't. Listen, is it in terms of story a great movie? No. Is it just pure vibes? Yes, and I don't care. Love it. Love the vibes. Give me those vibes. We've had a little bit too much damper and, you know, a bit of thing around Marvel. This is what we needed. Fun, ridiculous, over the top, visually stunning, hilarious, great fight scenes, choreography, everything. It was brilliant. Wade Wilson makes his Marvel entrance into the Deadpool universe, being recruited by the TVA, has to save his universe by finding a Logan, finds, of course, the worst one, the costume. We got it. Yes, finally. He looked brilliant in it. Hugh Jackman, I always knew he would. It was fantastic. You know, the cameos, Blade, Johnny Storm, Elektra, X-23, oh, they're all coming back. It felt great to see. There was some emotion seeing those characters that we hadn't seen for so long on the screen teaming up. Channing Tatum's Gambit, I thought he was brilliant. Get him in another role. Get him in the X-Men movies. I definitely want to see that. The villain I thought was interesting. You know, I've gone blank. I've gone completely blank on her name. What is her name? She's Professor X's sister. I've gone blank. Cassandra Nova. That's it. Cassandra Nova. I thought she was really good, sinister, played brilliantly, acted brilliantly, maniacal, evil, really good. I was hoping for a little different kind of a villain, but you know what? It worked. I liked it. You know, The Void, Mad Max vibes, you know, some other cameo appearances from Sabretooth and other previous villains of the X-Men movies. Really good. Like I said, visually shot very well. Thought the CGI was done well. The soundtrack was brilliant. Few things, I would have liked the fight scenes to be a bit more, especially the Deadpool Wolverine one. I felt it was a little short. It was done very well, choreographed great. Could have been a little bit more and bigger and better. The car one was phenomenal, so different, unique, fantastic. 10 out of 10 on that, fair play. Even the big fight scene at the end, which was hilarious of them fighting all the Wolverines. I would have liked it a little more serious at the end when the stakes are so high. A little bit more of a maybe one or two like badass variants of Wolverine and Logan. They had to fight each other. That could have been really cool. But it was still cool to see them take out all the Wolverines and how silly it was with Peter and him holding the other Canadian Ryan. It was funny. It was funny. The TVA was, yeah, I don't really care. Yeah, you know, whatever his name was. You know, trying to delete all the different, you know, timelines and universes and using Sandra Nova. He was funny, but, you know, he was a bit of a B-lister. You know, I just didn't really care about his character in the film. The final crescendo was brilliant, you know, actually some emotion. He mixed in with a little silliness of having to save, you know, his world. And it gave me Guardians of the Galaxy vibes when, you know, they, you know, the montage, the music, you know, the flashbacks. It was fantastic. It hit. It was brilliant. Great song choice again. Perfect. And then, of course, no, they're not gone. Boom, they walk in. Hugh Jackman, ripped to shreds, looking a beast. No, this film was brilliant. It was just pure fun and joy. You can't not like watching it. It put a smile on my face, put a smile on everyone's face. Fantastic, brilliant, loved it. In at number 12, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. I give this film an 8.5 out of 10. I love it. Don't get the hate. I don't get the hate. Remember, guys, there is no right or wrong answer. It's all individual taste. There is no wrong list. There is no right list. There's your list and mine. And let's debate it in the comments. Why am I wrong? Why are you right? Let's have, you know, good discussion and banter. I love it. That's why I make this channel, to talk with more people about these things and just talk about them. I really like Doctor Strange's Multiverse of Madness. Really good story. I thought America Chavez was a great character. A kid needs help. Of course, Doctor Strange is going to help. He's obviously going to step in and help her. You know, she has her reservations because of the previous Strangers, the multiverse.
What do you want with the multiverse?
This is, you know, we're really getting a big peek into it and setting up the multiverse saga. Scarlet Witch is evil. She's fantastic. She's brilliant being the villain. I loved it. Don't get me wrong, I love her as the hero too. But she was sadistic and brilliant and maniacal, and ooh, she gave me chills. There was some creepy moments in the film, a little bit, you know, little jump scares as well. No, she was brilliant. All powerful, menacing. No, fantastic. You know, Elizabeth Olsen.
It will be the Scarlet Witch.
Brilliant. Acted the hell out of it. Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange, always fantastic.
We will see what kind of Doctor Strange you are.
Guy who plays Wong, brilliant. No, I like the story that, you know, she's, you know, after the effects of WandaVision, she wants her children, she'll scour it. She's snapped the Darkhold, the dark magic's manipulated her. It makes perfect sense. And, you know, we go hopping through universes with America Chavez's power, and we get to an Earth where we get the Illuminati. How cool was it to see Patrick Stewart, Professor X, in the MCU? It was awesome. Mr. Fantastic, John Krasinski. I thought he played him really well. I'd like to see him more as fantastic, Mr. Fantastic. You know, with the upcoming multiverse films, that'd be really cool. You know, the lady who played Captain Marvel, of course, who's Monica Rambeau's mother in the Captain Marvel movies. I thought she played, you know, that version of Captain Marvel really well. Peggy Carter playing the What If version of you know, not Captain Britain, if you will. You know, the first Avenger. No, she was brilliant. It was great to see her. The bloke, I forget his name. He was his friend in the first Doctor Strange, but sort of now he's against him. He's a villain. Yeah, he was in it. Would have been cool if we'd have got Tom Cruise Iron Man. It would have been pretty cool. Come on. But oh well. Let's not go too much too soon. But no, it was really good. Acted brilliantly. Really liked the story. You know, Doctor Strange, he's just doing everything he can to help this child, and he's balancing between, you know, what's too much. You know, can I break the rules just this little bit for the greater good? But other strangers have done that and it's all gone badly. You can't, you've got to stick. You know, the Darkhold's in play, the Book of the Shanty, you know, all these things. And in the end, he does dip into the Darkhold. He does dip into darkness to help her and do some dark stuff. But is that okay when you're saving, you know, someone for the greater good? You know, it's a fine balance. You know, you tell me. I think he did the right thing, you know, and he was brilliant. I think he plays Doctor Strange so well. He's so, yeah, he just nails him. Visually, again, brilliant with the realms and the jumping universes. thought the visual effects was fantastic. Really liked the CGI. I thought it was really well done. The fight scenes, again, the choreography, just fantastic. No, I love this film. I don't get the hate. Really liked it. Okay, yeah, the CGI at the end of the eye, that was ridiculous. But it set up the third one. I'm down to see it. Love it. And at number 11, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. I give this film an 8.5 out of 10. Now, a few people are going to be surprised because of how low I have Black Panther in the earlier ranking. Wow, this film surprised me. I loved this film. I got emotional at this film. I believe it won an Oscar or a Golden Globe. The actress that played T'Challa's mother. It was going to be emotional anyway, with the passing of Chadwick Boseman. Meaning there is no Black Panther. We pick up very much there. He's just passed away. The funeral scene was brilliant. All in white. The music, shot so well and acted so brilliantly. We get a bit of a time jump. We see Shuri struggling. You know, she's really, she feels she should have done more. She tried to obviously make that artificial thing, but she couldn't. She failed. But, it was an uphill battle. It's not her fault. We see T'Challa's mother is once again queen, ruling Wakanda, and people around the world are annoyed. They want the vibranium. They feel they should share. She's closed off. She's hurting. She doesn't care. She's lost her son. She's lost her husband. She's like, listen, jog on. Vibranium's ours. Get your own. And of course, they try, which leads us to us discovering, I don't know what to call them. Atlantean? Are we going the DC route? The ocean people. I really like the way that was shot as well, these ocean people. I thought the costumes, into the Mayan heritage, the weaponry, the way they fought, the blue, looked brilliant, really bought into it. The effects underwater, brilliantly shot. I thought the actor that played Namor, brilliant. I love his powers. What a badass, he's strong. Yeah, you don't want to mess with him. He was really good, and I really liked the story. Going after the new Iron Man, if you will, the lady who's going to be playing Ironheart, this funny, kid, sort of, lackadaisical tech genius, and, she's been all of a sudden, just from a little experiment for a school project, been brought into this huge feud. And Baku, brilliant. He's always hilarious when he's in it. There was a cameo from, if you're a UFC fan, Kamaru Usman. If you spotted it, that was pretty cool. And the film flowed. You were engaged the whole time. Next step. She goes and gets to, the mother goes and gets, recruits T'Challa's old girlfriend, to help, because Shuri gets taken. She gets taken by the people in a great fight scene. And, the actress who plays Michonne in The Walking Dead, I forget her name, but she's one of the head guards of the crown for Wakanda, and she's brilliant. She's fantastic, but she ends up, losing the fight. Something she's not used to. The head of the Dojo Malare. If I'm pronouncing that terribly, my apologies. And then she gets fired. So Shuri's taken, she loses her role, and then that emotional scene from the mom, have I not given enough, have I not lost enough? And that's what probably got her the award. Brilliant. Of course, though, T'Challa's ex finds Shuri and, Lady Ironheart, and they get them out of there, and it sets up a big battle. It sets up that Black Panther is back. Shuri figures it out. She makes the herb. She becomes the Black Panther. Awesome suit. Looks wicked. Devises a plan. And there's a great big final battle against them all. Oh, sorry, I'm forgetting the passing of her mother, which leads her to on that path, because she goes quite dark. She's lost her brother. Then she loses her mother, who sacrificially saves Lady Ironheart. Does really well. She acted brilliantly. She sacrifices herself. The emotion from the actress played Shuri as well. Oh, you just think, no, she's lost someone. I mean, honestly, she's broken. She turns to anger, and then she ends up seeing Killmonger, not a brother. Because that's the person she needed to see in that moment. She wanted war. She wanted an excuse to go do what she was going to do, and she did. Brilliant fight scene against her and Namor. Choreographed fantastically. Really liked it. Loved her anger and aggression and emotion. Wasn't a big fan of the Dora Milaje's, those two blue suit things. It's not for me, but it still was pretty cool. And Ironheart in her Ironheart suit was fantastic. It was really well done. You know, I really liked it. And the CIA guy was I forget his name, but anyway, you know what I'm on about. He was brilliant in it again. He reprised his role from the original. Everett Ross, maybe that could be his name. He was really good in it. Obviously, you know, has a debt to, you know, the T'Challa family, and, you know, helps out. And yeah, no, it really was brilliant, emotional. Shuri's the Black Panther. She doesn't want to rule though, and she sort of leaves Baku to be in charge.
The Black Panther sends her regards.
For now, we know that's not going to be forever, because it looks like with the great end credit scene, oh, how emotional is that? T'Challa has a son. You know, I was really happy for Shuri. You know, she's lost her mum and her brother. You know, what she got? She has a nephew. She has a reason to keep going. It's brilliant. I want to see her in the Avengers movie and all the upcoming movies. She needs to be in it. Yeah, brilliant film. I'm hearing rumours there's going to be another Black Panther potentially, which would be really cool. Casting rumours from the guy from Black Adam who played Hawkman in a multiverse role. That would be fantastic. He would nail that. I'd love to see that. But yeah, guys, anyway, that's the end for part 2. If you want to know how I ranked the previous movies from 34 to 21, check out part 1. It's one of my previous videos.
And I hope you're watching.
And keep an eye out for part 3, which will air on Monday at 7 o'clock UK time, where I rank the MCU top 10. Thanks for watching. Please hit the like button and comment down below, and subscribe for all future content. It helps me out, grow the channel. Greatly appreciated. Anyway, I'll catch you in the next one. Adios.